Hi. Thank you for being here. Let's do a practice together. Just all we need for class today is your mat. Give yourself a little time and a little space to set up, put some music on, and take this time for you. Starting in child's pose. And like I always say, if child's pose is not a pose that is an easy place for you to start, then you can start also just on hands and knees or any other pose that feels restful, feels like a place to come and drop in for a moment. Letting your hips be heavy, head heavy. Letting your third eye find contact with the floor or with maybe your palm, the back of your palm, or a block. Using that press into that space between your eyes as a point of focus. You can almost let that be a place where your practice begins, where you start to melt away all of the kind of bubbling, constantly happening dialogue in your head, where you begin instead to be in the physical. Start to tune into your breath, taking in a nice, big, loud inhale and an even louder exhale. Again, loud inhale in, huge exhale out. One more. Let's draw up onto hands and knees, making sure your hands are right underneath your shoulders, knees right under the hips, and then start to just take a gentle rock of your hips one way to the other. And from here, start to grow that. So start circling your hips over your knees, circling your shoulders over your wrists. Finding a slow, steady breath, breathing all the way into the bottom of your belly and letting your breath exhale also from that place at the bottom of your belly. Switch direction. Maybe you start to match movement with breath. Totally feel free to veer off and take any other organic movements that your body is looking for, asking for right now. Let's go one more circle this direction. And then let's come to a steady tabletop position, drawing the belly up towards the spine, just enough to stabilize and find a flat back. Keeping that as you send your right toes straight back behind you. Toes are tucked under, heel pressed away. Finding balance here for a moment. Make sure that your hips stay square. And then make sure that your shoulders stay square as you sweep your left fingertips forward. And this is maybe where you'll stay, just keeping balance here. Or maybe you inhale right here and then use an exhale to lift hand and foot. Inhale, touch down. Exhale to lift. Being mindful of what you're doing with your head, keeping your neck and head in line with your spine. And keeping your gaze just a little bit ahead of you. 2 more. And the last one. Sweep down, back on to hands and knees. And then from here, I'm actually going to just turn to face the screen. So right leg is still pressed back behind you. Let's take your right foot and sweep it over your left foot, touching toes down and looking over your left shoulder. Drawing in an inhale here, pressing right hip out to the right, enjoying the stretch for a moment. With an exhale, let's kick that right foot all the way out to the right, keeping it up to hover as much as you can. Inhale, touching down. Exhale, kicking out. Here too, the belly stays drawn up, back stays flat. And to keep as much like dip and rise out of your spine as possible. The movement of the spine is side to side. Last one, kicking out to the right. Let's hold it here. And then plant right foot down, walking your hands back. And inhaling, drawing arms all the way up and overhead, extending fingertips to the sky. Right hand comes to your right hip. Left hand reaches for the sky. And we'll tip over towards the right, pressing your left hip out to the left. Take an inhale into all this space along your left side. Inhale, both arms up and overhead. Exhale, plant your left hand down. You want your left hand to land right under your left shoulder so you can lean in, lifting your right foot. Let's extend right arm overhead and take a moment right here, just enjoying the length along your right side. Inhale, exhale, elbow to knee overhead. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, crunching along. You're sideways, drawing your low ribs closer to your hip. Knee stays lifted and overhead. 3 more. Last one. Inhale, lengthen out, plant your foot. Draw all the way back up. Fingertips to the sky. And exhale to sweep back down onto hands and knees. Sweeping your right leg behind you, bending your knee. We'll go straight to the other side. So let's send your left foot back, toes tucked. Find your balance here. Again, not forgetting about your spine, drawing your ribs together, belly button back towards the spine. From here, lengthening right fingertips forward. Taking in an inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale to touch down. Exhale, lift. Getting strong in your back body. 2 more. And the last one. Keeping your left leg reaching behind you. Right hand plants. Left foot reaches over your right foot, looking over your right shoulder. Left hip presses to the left. Inhale. And exhale, kicking out. Inhale to touch down. Exhale to kick. Seeing as much as you can for keeping that foot as high as it can go, or at least in line with your hip, no higher than that. But the higher you keep your foot, the more you have to engage in your obliques, those muscles on the sides of your waist. Last time, kicking out to the left. Hold it here, maybe hovering for a moment. Plant your foot down. Walk the hands back. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, left hand to your left hip. Inhale to lengthen fingertips to the ceiling. Exhale, tip over to the left. Enjoying 2 full breaths. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to root into your knee more to help find even more space. Both arms overhead. With an exhale, right hand plants right under your shoulder, leaning in, lifting your left foot, and lengthening left arm over across your ear. Inhale here. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, press. Last one. Inhale, lengthen out, planting your foot down, drawing all the way up again. And we'll exhale to come onto hands and knees. Drawing hips back to the heels, relaxing for 1 breath back into your child's pose. Let's use an inhale to come to hands and knees, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, pressing up and back, downward dog. Bend the knees a lot, wave forward into a plank. Exhale, hips up and away, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Last flow like that. Inhale, plank. This time, knees come down, elbows fold back, slowly lowering to the floor, keeping strong around your core as you lower all the way down. With an inhale, let's roll the shoulders up, lengthening your neck, lifting your heart. Exhale, third eye kisses the floor. Let's take 2 more like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale to lift. And exhale, release to the floor. Rooting through your hands up through tabletop, tucking the toes, down dog. Let's enjoy 2 breaths in a down dog. Heels drawing to the floor, knees stay bent, working towards straight. Heart drawing towards your knees, fingers spread wide. Yes, just releasing to the floor. Feet walk forward to the hands. My sweet daughter just slipped me a note under the door asking permission to eat breakfast in the bedroom. Ground into your heels. Arms sweep up and overhead. Hands touch overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's inhale, arms up and overhead. And exhale to sink into a chair pose. Take a moment to find your way into your chair, any kind of movement to settle back into it, pressing into your heels, but equally also into both toe balls of your feet. Toes are soft. Inhale one more time, sinking in. With an exhale, let's press up to stand. Inhale to sit back. Exhale to press up. Continue like this, or maybe fire it up a little bit next time you come up, coming onto your tippy toes. And then maybe for the last 10, you even press all the way up to a jump. So I'll like shake my whole house down. Two more. Last one. Landing back in your chair. Let's keep your heart rate up. Take hands to your chest. Step right foot back, drawing your chest back. Let's bend the back knee. Hands can come along your side. Actually, let's keep hands at the heart, taking little pulses. Option here, next step up maybe, is to take hands down by the side and take little jumps. Landing with your back knee bent. Falling out of it when you do, and coming back as you can. Bringing into this hard work a little bit of lightness. It doesn't have to feel like a weight. Last one. Let's land back in your lunge, but let's spin the right heel down, peeling your right shoulder back, open into a warrior two. Lengthening your fingertips out, finding your connection with the floor, and using that to find length and strength up your legs, length up the sides of your waist, out your fingertips, up the crown of your head. Right fingertips float down. Left palm flips, reverse warrior. With your next inhale, drawing back to a warrior. Let's cartwheel the hands down to frame the foot. And let's step into plank. Staying in a plank for 3 breaths. Heels are pressing back, knees lifting, outer hips hugging in, inner thighs are almost spinning up towards the ceiling. Low ribs draw together, heart stays wide, fingers stay spread. Let's take the knees down. Hips back to the heels, child's pose. Using an inhale to come back on to hands and knees. Tuck the toes, press back into downward dog. Feet walk forward to the hands. Root into your heels. Sweep arms out wide. Hands together overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, sink into a chair. Again, take a little time. Find your way in. Can you broaden more in your chest? Can you send your breath all the way into that connection with your feet to the floor? Use an inhale to sink a little deeper. Use an exhale to press up. Inhale to sink. Exhale, press. Movement is slow and controlled. This time, maybe press up onto your toes. Keep that for 3 more. Last one. And then maybe we take some jumps. I'll make my head disappear out over the top of the screen. Last 2. And then last 1. Yes. Hands to the heart. Step your left foot straight back. Draw your heart back. Back knee bends. Find those little pulses. And then if you want to keep your heart rate up, let's take some jumps. 2 more. Last 1. Land back in your lunge. Left heel spins down, peeling your arms open. Warrior 2. Again, find the skin of your feet that are touching the floor. Use that. Stabilizing from there all the way to the skin of your fingertips. The hair on the top of your head. Left hand floats down. Right palm flips, reverse warrior. Inhale all the way back to a warrior. Hands come down to frame the foot, plank pose. This time we'll come down to forearms and we'll hold a stationary forearm plank for 5 breaths. Knees can come down. Can you slow down your breath even here? Knees do come down, pressing up to your palms to walk your hands back, settling for a moment into a child's pose. We'll walk hands to the knees, drawing yourself up to a seat. Let's turn to one side, send your legs in front of you. Take a moment, lengthening fingertips to the sky, Pressing heels away, opening into a staff pose. And then let's sweep the hands behind you, planting your fingers down so that your fingertips are pointing towards your seat. Soles of the feet come to the floor. And let's press up into a reverse tabletop position. Hips are pressing to the sky. Choice to keep your chin tucked, looking towards your knees, or you can look up at the ceiling. From this position, let's bend the elbows, keeping the hips pressed up. With an exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend the elbows. And exhale, press up. Last one. Release hips to the floor. Again, let's sweep the arms up. Find a staff pose. Sit bones grounding. Fingertips lengthening. Let's reach fingertips in front of you as you draw your belly button back to your spine, rounding your spine. Sit back. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, round, sit back. Going back as far as you can without falling back. Inhale, drop. Last one. Let's lean back, lean back, lean back, lean back, and hold here. Maybe you can lean back a bit more. And maybe a bit more. And then let's release head, neck, and shoulders to the floor. Taking your hands so that they are palm down alongside your hips. And maybe you even draw your thumbs right underneath your seat. Let's point the toes. Pressing the top of your shoulders into the mat. Press your low back into the mat, drawing belly button back like almost through your spine to find a strong connection. And then let's pick up the heels, toes stay pointed. We're going to do little crosses, so crossing one foot over the other as you slowly start to lift your hips to the sky. And then slowly start to lower again. Low back stays grounded the whole time. When your heels come to hover, slowly again start to draw up and slowly down. One more up. And all the way down. And let's hold the feet here, hovering just above the mat. Flex your feet and point. Flex, point. Concentration stays in your low back. And let's release the feet down and move your hands out of the way. Bend your knees. Interlace your fingers and reach your outstretched arms overhead. Palms press away. Windshield wipe your knees from side to side. Draw both knees into the chest. Give a sweet little hug. Move the sole of the feet to the floor. Let's heel toe the feet so that they're wider than hips and are about mat width apart. And let's open the arms wide. Again, taking a windshield wipe of the knees, one side to the other, getting really big and open with the swipes of your knees from side to side, rolling onto one side of your hip and then the other. The next time knees fall to the left, hold here. Right shoulder stays grounded. Feel a gentle twist across your torso. If you'd like to bring in a bit more of a stretch, you can use your bottom foot, picking it up and hooking it on your top knee. Wherever you are, let your knees be heavy. Awareness can come back to your breath, watching your breath as it crosses the landscape of your torso. If you have your foot crossed, gently uncrossing. Take knees back up to center. For a moment, let's pause with the knees touching, soles of the feet stay wide, active rest pose. Softening your inner thighs, pelvic floor, low belly. Maybe here for a moment you take one hand to your heart, take one hand to your belly. Opening arms wide to a T again, and then we'll let the knees fall over to the right. And here too, taking the variation of the foot on the knee, if it feels appropriate, if it feels like it gives you what you need, but if it just feels like more gripping, more pushing, then maybe go for the gentler option. Inhale slowly all the way into that little compression from the twist in your low belly. And exhaling all the way up to your collarbones. Uncrossing if you crossed. Knees come back up. Soles of the feet touch. Knees open wide. Arms cactus. Supta Baddha Konasana. I think that I will end the class here. So your choice of staying just like this in Supta Baddha Konasana as long as you like, or transitioning into Shavasana whenever it feels right for you. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, give yourself at least a few more minutes of this kind of bath of attention just to you. Filling up your tank a little bit. and that you can go on with your day a little bit clearer, a little bit fuller. When you feel ready, press yourself up to find any kind of seat. Hands together at the heart, bowing, third eye to your fingertips. So much gratitude for this body, for this breath, and for this practice. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a lovely, lovely day. I'll see you in a few days.